Good afternoon and namaste, everybody. And first rule, please put your phone on silent. And today we are going to go through everything once again, come to the point of Kumbhaka, and then I will teach you Nadi-Shuddhi. Um, so let's start. There are three asanas which I have recommended. The first one is Padmasana, which is this way. The second is Vajrasana. Keep your knees together. Let your uh, ankles fall down, and you can sit this way. Or if you cannot do that, you can go into Sukhasana. So choose the asana that you like. Then um, now I'm going to, and you have to choose the uh, mudra that you wish, so that the prana circuit is closed. And now I'm going to ask you all to please start the relaxation process. So we will, please close your eyes and follow the instructions. Relax the brain, relax the brain, relax the front of the brain, relax the front of the brain, relax the left side of the brain, relax the left side of the brain, relax the rear of the brain, relax the rear of the brain, relax the right side of the brain, relax the right side of the brain, relax your face, relax your face, relax your cheeks, relax your eyeballs. From within, you can make out that your eyes, the eyeballs, you will be able to relax them. To relax them, relax the throat, relax the throat, relax the shoulders, relax the shoulders, relax the chest, relax the chest, relax the back, relax the back, relax the arms, relax the arms, relax the abdomen, relax the abdomen, now watch the abdomen as it goes out and goes in. Follow the breath as it comes in and as it goes out. Don't force the breath as it comes in. Just allow it to go in its own way. Let the breath come in. Let the breath go out. In, breathe out. Now follow the breath at the nostril, at the septum, the bridge of the nose, at the top of the head, inside the nasal cavity, behind the ears, where the ears are, you can feel the pressure. Relax. Just follow the breath. Don't force it. Follow the breath. Follow the breath into the chest. You will see the chest go out and the chest go in. The chest will go out and chest will go in. Let the entire body relax and flow with the breath. So observe the breath move the body. Don't participate, just watch. Watch the breath move the chest out, the abdomen out, the chest in, the abdomen. Just watch. Just watch. And at the count of 10, you will start controlling the incoming breath and follow the instructions. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, hold, breathe out. Breathe in, hold, breathe out, hold. Continue this process. Please come back to the present. Now I'm going to speak about something that is very important when you follow the breath, and that is called the chitta or the consciousness. Like I have said in my earlier class, you will find that there is a certain part of your body which is following the motions, and there is the observer. The observer is the Purusha, and the awareness that it gives is your prajna or awareness. Now, when you're forcing the body to move in a particular direction, very often you will find that a portion of the breath begins to get tight. It will feel tight. And that is the consciousness. Because what is happening is that the consciousness is being forced to move in a particular manner. It is not used to that. You're used to a reflex action of breathing, which is defined by the medulla oblongata and controlled by the pons, which is at the back of the neck. The pons controls the regulation of the breathing, and the medulla oblongata controls breathing itself. So, what is happening is that when the consciousness is moving, trying to change the direction of methodology of breathing, it begins to feel stressed. So, that is why the relaxation is so important. As you practice relaxation, then the consciousness begins to get more malleable. It is able to change, it is able to work in a manner which is easier for you to control the breathing. So, control of the breathing is not easy because you're used to reflex. Now, when you're making that reflex action into a conscious action, what you are actually doing is controlling the amygdala. So the amygdala begins to get reverse reverse engineered, if you want to call it that. It begins to start modulating itself, and as a result, the release of stress hormones like adrenaline and corticosteroids and steroids, cortisols, begins to drop. Now, that is why you need to practice the relaxation part before you start practicing the pranayama part. Because unless your body is totally stress free, you will not get the maximum benefit of pranayama. So, this again, I'm going to ask you all when we will breathe again the puraka, antara-kumbhaka, rechaka, bahira-kumbhaka. Here, I want you all to focus on trying to understand what is the consciousness. So there is a consciousness. You'll feel it like a buzzing sound within your head. Actually, the consciousness exists throughout. You can actually feel the consciousness everywhere. But that's a different part. We are not going to get into that. The right now, what I want you all to do is you will be able to see a certain amount of turbulence, a certain movement within the brain. So I'm going to ask you all to close your eyes, and I'm going to ask you to relax. You're already reasonably relaxed, so I'm not going to spend too much time on that relaxation part. I'm going to ask you all to relax, and then I'm going to ask you all to observe the breath, and then I'm going to ask you all to observe the consciousness. Whether you all are able to feel the buzzing or the movement within the brain, and you're able to observe it. Okay. So I'm going to close your eyes. I will count only up to 5 this time. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax. Breathe out. And when you breathe out, allow your body to relax. When I say relax, it means that it's like a wet cloth. Your entire body must fall like a wet cloth. So it should be like very calm, relaxed. Follow the breath as it comes inside and it goes out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Now turn your attention from the breath to within the head. Can you feel that there is some kind of movement within the head? There will be some movement within the head. It could be turbulence, it could be just noise, it could be just very light kind of movement. It depends on how really relaxed you are. So I'm going to count up to 5. I want you all to observe it, and after that, I want a feedback from you all. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. stop. Come back to the present. Now I want you all to give me your feedback on whether you were able to feel that movement within the brain. Anybody can start. Hello, can you all hear me?
Yes, sir.
So somebody please give me your feedback.
I felt some kind of a feeling in the forehead than
Yes.
in the head. In the
Okay.
forehead, is that okay?
Yeah, perfectly all right.
Okay.
There is, see the basically the consciousness moves out of the forehead. So this is
Okay.
the when you feel that heat here. This is where most of when the most of the decision making happens in the frontal lobe. So when you are feeling the consciousness moving out, that is perfectly all right. This is where your most of your memory stays, where most of your decision making happens. This is perfectly all right. That means your decision making area is where the consciousness is moving. That's
There's
perfect.
more like a pointed focus happening. Is that something like that?
But you're not. I'm not asking you to focus. I'm asking you to observe.
No, 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 no. The feeling that I had was the
Hmm.
focus was going. I was not focusing, but the focus was happening at the forehead.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And has it happened before to you?
Yeah, I told you the last time also. So I just feel some energy in the forehead, in the
At one
forehead.
point, at a
Yes,
single point.
yes,
And are
yes.
you able to hold that point?
I don't hold it, it stays.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that
So, but
normal?
there is no discomfort.
No, not at all.
And after you finish the practice, does it stay?
No, it wanes away.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But are you able to retain the feeling of calmness and
There is
relaxation?
a super calm after that.
Okay. So you're able to retain the calmness.
Yes.
Okay. The second question I have is, are you able to, when you are working, able to observe yourself working? Like for
In
instance,
in in, in baby steps, yes. Yes.
so you're able to observe yourself cutting vegetables, making a
Yes.
chapati,
Yes.
serving somebody.
And there is also a reminder that happens to me that look, you're doing this. So there is a reminder, and then I I'm in the like in that
In the
awareness
zone.
state.
You
Yeah.
start zoning in.
Yes.
Okay, great. What about somebody else?
Sir, I felt very, very calm. I felt my heart rate coming down, and it was staying in that moment. Feel like staying there throughout, staying for a longer period of time.
Excellent. So what is happening is as the breathing begins to regulate, the amygdala is telling your body that there is no threat anywhere. The threat perceptions are all coming down. And when once the feeling of security sets in, then your heart does not have to compensate for other things. Now let me ask you again the same question. Are you able to retain this after you finish the practice?
Yes, sir, I can. I'm enjoying the process actually.
And are you able to replicate it when you're cutting vegetables, making chapatis, when you're keeping a pressure cooker, when you're washing the dishes?
Yes, sir, I can go back to that feeling all that. I feel like, I feel like going back, and whenever possible, whenever I find time, I feel like going to that state of my mind.
That is a great thing. Actually, you will notice one thing. You're able to sleep better if I'm not wrong. All of you. Those of you who practice.
Yes, sir.
Because what happens is that another thing you all can do is when you're just before you go to sleep, you try this practice. Within 30 seconds, you'll fall asleep. Try this when you before you go to sleep. Suppose you're not feeling sleepy, then you do the same relaxation technique. Within 30 seconds, you all will fall asleep. I can sleep anywhere using this technique. Anybody else?
Uh, I feel the whole body is relaxed,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel it everywhere. The energy or whatever you may say, not necessarily only in the head or anything,
Mm-hmm.
but throughout the body.
So you feel a
I
tejas.
feel,
You feel a tejas within
pardon?
the body.
Yes, I feel energetic. I mean, in the sense, I feel the energy flowing throughout the body,
Now,
not specifically any particular part. I
perfect.
mean, when I try to think about what about my hands, are my arms this? If I ask myself a question, yes, I can feel it there too. Can feel in my legs or head also, anywhere.
So
But it's not restricted only to head portion or any one part of the body.
excellent. So okay, let's try and figure out what is happening to you. Now, in our system, there are. I'm going to talk. This is slightly aside. I would have taken it later on, but I think this is relevant right now. We'll probably come to it again later on. We have got five vayus. Okay. Now our prana
Yes.
flows in our body in five vayus. The first is the prana vayu. Prana vayu is the vayu that comes from all incoming inputs is prana vayu. The second vayu is the apana vayu. The apana vayu is all excretory function is controlled by the apana vayu, and it starts from the uh, below the what do you call the peritoneum. That is where this bag ends. That's where it starts. Vyana Vayu is the aura that we have around us. It is our personality. Our personality gets reflected in the Vyana Vayu. Udana Vayu is what comes out, which is actually express that manifests as communication. Communication, the way you look, you present yourself to the world, what we call swabhav. Very how we present our swabhav to the world is Jnana Vayu, Udana Vayu. Samana Vayu is the circulatory function which manifests as two. One is the circulatory function of your stomach, and the second one is the blood. What uh, somebody was talking about right now is Jnana Vayu. Jnana Vayu is your entire body is beginning to relax. When the body relaxes, the prana begins to go into all the nadis without any impediment. There's no stopping of the prana, which is moving into the various muscles and other aspects of your body, and that manifests as an energy throughout the body as an aura. And actually, if somebody could look, I mean, the way you look at the world and the way world is seeing you will change because of the kind of tejas that will radiate out of you. So, what your experience is actually Vyana Vayu. Anybody else?
Eh, may I say something else, not
Please.
directly connected to the what we did just now, but generally over the period of time, I have not been able to sit down since many years, and I'm so glad with your active encouragement and support. I'm able to sit in Sukhasana. Otherwise, I was not able to bend my right knee for to sit in Sukhasana comfortably. But it was always one leg would be like Dakshinamurti kind. One leg bent, the other leg down from the chair. So
Mm-hmm.
all the time, wherever some sitting needed to be done, it was sitting in the chair. So it was chairasana, and it was my very very ardent wish that I should be able to sit down comfortably, and I'm able to do it now. So
Oh, I'm very
thank you
happy to hear
so
that.
much. Thank you so much that this has happened. And you're telling that breathe in that, when you are doing this, breathe out at doing this. That has helped. In fact, every time I want to sit down, I go through that post of yours and follow it, so that, I relax and I'm able to do it without harming myself.
Wonderful.
So I'm so delighted that after 21 years, I'm able to sit in Sukhasana, but I need that little raised posture. I'm still not able to sit flat on the ground and put Sukhasana. I need about 4-5 inches, raised cushion or a stool or whatever, that Manekatta style. And then only I'm able to do. But still, this is a big achievement for me personally. Thank
I'm
you
so
so
glad
much.
that we were able to add value to you. Milind sir, please. Milind sir, you wanted to say something? Milind sir, you had raised a hand.
Probably is muted. Please
Milind
unmute.
sir, please unmute and speak.
No, I just wanted to congratulate you because this is such a wonderful experience Madam has shared. With maybe 3 or 4 sittings, she is able to sit comfortably now in Sukhasana. So this is one great achievement. So just I wanted to share my clapping. That is what I have done.
Okay. Now, I'm going to go into the next part because we are already a little behind time. We are going to now start Nadi-Shuddhi Pranayama. Now, I would like to speak about the importance of Nadi-Shuddhi Pranayama before I go into Nadi-Shuddhi Pranayama. What is Nadi-Shuddhi? Nadi-Shuddhi means the Nadi is the channels through which prana runs. Now, what is that? Now, our muscles are made up of 2 components. One is the contracts, and the other one resists the contraction. So, suppose for instance, this is the strand of muscle. So, one muscle, this is actually will work as a in tandem. So when you bend one muscle, this muscle will bend, will contract, and the other one will go under tension. So what will happen is that when you let go, it will swing back. What does this tell you? That for as long as you are in neutral position, there is a gap between the muscular strands. Now that gap between the muscular strands is the nadi. And the nadi is where the prana runs. It moves in the nadi. And depending on the way you do breathing, the movement of prana will go commensurately. Which is why first I taught you all to relax. When you relax, the various nadis open out and prana begins to move. Which is why prana is called a vayu. Vayu means what? A channel, a current. A current is what prana is. So prana vayu means it goes as a current. So when you relax your muscles, the intermuscular spaces form channels through which your prana will run. The minute you get stressed, what happens? The muscles become tight, prana is unable to move. As a result of which, you become sick. Various tissues, if they don't get enough prana, then they begin to fall sick. And that is the fundamentals of health. There is nothing, this is not rocket science. If there are various tissues, for as long as the tissues are in neutral gear, there is movement of prana. When there is movement of prana, there is energy that is being given to the muscles, and everything is moving as it should. Which is why first I taught you all to relax. Then I taught you all to look at the body as a separate entity. Why? Because the minute you become involved in your body, automatically you will get stressed very easily. The minute you observe everything happening as a third person, you become like lotus in water. When you become like lotus in water, what happens? The entire kachada that comes on you does not impact you. You are able to get rid of it without any problem. When that happens, your muscles are all in a relaxed state. The prana is able to move, apana is able to move, vyana begins to radiate, udana becomes very calm, that is, your communication becomes calm, and the entire circulatory system functions normally. This is the fundamentals of why pranayama is important. Now, the key to the control of prana is that we must know that there are two major channels in the body. This is called the Ida or the moon channel. This is called the Pingala or the sun channel. The sun channel is the right, the moon channel is the left. Now, this controls emotion and this controls analytics. This is also evident in the brain. Our brain is split into two halves. This controls the emotions. This controls our ability to analyze. Most of the time, one of these is always dominant over the other. So, that is evident when you breathe. You will find that one of these nostrils will be blocked all the time, which means that the other side, the one which is functioning, is dominant over the other. Which is why I ask you to sit in Padmasana. Because when one side is dominant over the other, then breathing will become imbalanced. The flow of prana gets impacted. So now what we are going to do is we are going to do what is called Nadi-Shuddhi. In Nadi-Shuddhi, the logic is very straightforward. You will take breath in through one nostril, hold, breathe out through the other nostril, hold. Breathe in through one nostril, the opposite nostril, hold, breathe out through the first nostril. So what happens in this case? You are alternating the nostril, the flow of air through the nostrils. When you do that, what happens is that brain, that part of the brain which is getting the flow, begins to first stabilize, then the other side begins to stabilize, and slowly the two begin to synchronize with each other. So when you do Nadi-Shuddhi Pranayama regularly, what will happen is that your ability to analyze as well as control your emotions increases. That means what? Vivekam, the ability to discriminate, increases. Vairagyam, which is the ability to be dispassionate in decision making, increases. This is a very critical aspect of pranayama. This is why in the ancient times they used to do this regularly. When they did it regularly, what would happen is decision making was always balanced. There was an the empathy was there without without becoming sentimental. You had empathy, but you did not go over the person. At the same time, you did not become extremely analytical. Because the empathy began to balance the analyticals. So the vivekam as well as the vairagyam were existing in decision making. And when you do this over centuries, you get people beginning to behave in a manner which is both empathetic as well as logical. And that is the foundation of common sense. And so this is a very important part. This is an important way in which we learn. This is one of the biggest advantages of learning Nadi-Shuddhi Pranayama. Is there any doubt? Are there any questions? Because then I will teach you the practice. Please ask me if you have any questions. Five, four, three, two, one. Okay. So I'm going to teach you the practice. I'm sorry, without my specs, I can't see what I'm doing. So you will have to let me know if something is not visible. So I'm going to teach you how I'm going to use the fingers and the hand. Now, the thing is that you can, ideally, you should put your hand over the entire nostril. I have a problem in terms of deviated septum. So I can't do that. So what I generally do is I generally only close my nostril. Okay. So you can close this. It's up to you. Just make sure that the left hand side and the right hand side are fully closed when you're breathing in or breathing out. So what you do is you generally first you breathe out completely, then breathe in, hold. Hold means you have to hold it both. Okay. Breathe out. Now you can see that this side is blocked. This side of my nostril is blocked, so it's not coming out properly. Okay. Then hold. Breathe in. Hold. Breathe out. Hold. Now, couple of things. One is that you may want to clean the nostrils before you start the practice. Obviously, because there will be you're doing something that is different. The second thing is that there will be some sputum that might come out. Let it be, no problem. So these first few days, this inability to regulate will also be there. So again, I'm repeating. Breathe in, hold, breathe out, hold. Breathe in from the one that you breathed out, hold, breathe out from the other side, and hold. Now, I am not bringing counting into this for a very simple reason. When you begin to start counting, you will get stressed. There's no point in doing something if you are going to get stressed. First, you have to relax. Then you have to breathe in and hold and breathe out. Breathe in, hold, breathe out, hold. So I'm going to now ask you all to hold your fingers this way.
One question.
Yes, does anybody have a question?
Yeah, one question I had. Are you able to hear?
Yeah, I told you, I'm having a problem with my headphones. So
Yeah. No, I was when you hold one nostril and breathe in, and then breathe out from the other nostril.
Yes.
And then we have to breathe in from that nostril, right?
Correct.
Breathe it. Because otherwise it kind of becomes difficult. If you try to breathe out and then close that and then try to breathe in from the first one, the breathing doesn't complete properly.
Correct. So you breathe in, hold, breathe out through that nostril, hold, breathe in through the nostril you breathed out from, hold, and breathe out from the original nostril. Have you all got it?
Sir, can you show the hands again, the fingers that you used?
This one is one nostril. This one is the other nostril. Thumb and ring finger. Can you all see? Can you all see?
Your little finger is out or in closed, sir?
The two fingers here are closed. The ring finger is touching my ring finger is touching my left nostril. The thumb is touching my right nostril, and the two other fingers are inside. Can you all make out?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yes, yes.
And we always use only one hand, right?
Yeah, generally our predominant hand is the right hand. This is the right hand, we use it because the left hand is used for ablution. So we generally don't use this for cleanliness levels because we never know how clean our left hand is. Is that all right?
Okay, sir. Thank you.
From which side of the nostril should we begin? Should we begin from right or left, or how is it?
Actually, there is no rule because at the end of the day, you have to balance the breathing between one and the other nostril. So if you are comfortable starting with this, go ahead. I mean, no, there's no problem. But make sure that you end in the same. You should have a cycle. The cycle should be completed. You cannot just leave it with one side. Then you'll have dominant side of that side. So you have to make sure that if you breathe in, hold, breathe out, hold, breathe in, hold, breathe out, hold. This is one cycle. You have to do one cycle. Whether if you wanted to start from here, go down, come here and go there, perfectly all right. But the cycle should be completed. Is that all right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So would you like to try? Yes, please. Somebody asked a question.
Yeah, I was just asking. I've been normally doing with all the three fingers bent and using only the thumb and the little finger. That's okay, no? Or should I
See,
start
the
doing
problem with the little
raising the?
finger is it is not a very strong finger, you know. It is a very light
Huh.
finger. It's not meant to do any major work. Can you do any major work with the little finger? No, na?
Okay.
So if
All
you
right.
try to control your nostril with a little finger, how much pressure will you be able to put?
Okay.
So that is why they are recommended these two. Also,
All
another thing
right.
you must
Yeah,
recognize,
I get the point. I get the
in
point. Okay.
palmistry or in our system, this is controlled by the sun. The ring finger is controlled by the sun.
Okay.
Okay, so
Huh.
that is why they recommend this. Not otherwise you could do these two, no? But they ask you to use this.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
you got your ring finger here and here.
Yeah.
So
I shall be careful and do with both the. Use the in the ring finger.
no problem.
Yes. Yeah.
Eh,
Thank you.
No problem. Anybody else? Any other question? Okay. So let us start. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe out. Close with the thumb and breathe out through that nostril, the other nostril. Now, do it at your convenience. There is no need for counting. Just make sure that you're relaxed. Just make sure that the breathing is relaxed. Just make sure that you are taking it in through one, holding it, and taking it out through the other, holding it. So I'm going to allow you to do this for the next 30 seconds or so. Please try it yourself and then give me a feedback as to what problems you face so that I can resolve it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Please come to the present. Please give me feedback. How was the experience? Yes, Anand sir.
Yeah. So one question was, I was trying to.
Can you speak closer to the microphone, sir? I'm not able to hear you.
Yeah, it is. I got this thing headphone.
Okay.
What I was saying was, when I'm closing one nostril and then breathing in, and then we have to, when we are holding it, both nostrils have to be closed at that time.
Yes.
Okay. Then when I breathe out from the other nostril, at the end of it, again we have to hold with both.
Yes.
Okay. So that was a little complex for me, because when I was breathing out from the other nostril, at the end of it, when I close it, take it out, and then breathing in was a little, I was finding it a little dicey. I don't know whether something wrong in
I'm
that
not
or.
at all surprised, sir, because this combination of hands and breathing is not easy. I was actually going to teach you all another bit of awareness on where to focus when the breathing is happening, but I think I will not take you all there this week. I think I will teach you all next week a very important aspect of that breathing that we need to focus on. But what I will tell you all is, if you at least practice for 10 minutes or so, you might start perspiring. It is a normal thing. To perspire when you are doing pranayama is normal, because it is an exercise. It is an aerobic exercise. So what is happening is that your heart, though the rate does not increase, it is still beginning to, there is an increase in oxygen content within the body, and then the flow of blood is going, is alternating between the ida and the pingala, and then there is a certain aerobic movement within the body. So you might start perspiring. Don't think it is a bad thing. Okay, so anybody else has feedback?
Namaste, Guruji.
Namaste.
Yeah. So while I am doing this, first we breathe out from our left nostril. I did so. I feel the airflow is not very free compared to the right side. I feel it's flowing very well from the right nostril, but little blocked or something from the left nostril.
Perfectly normal. See, it means that the dominant side is the one where the flow is free. I have the same problem. Today, my left nostril is blocked. So I'm having a problem with moving the air properly through my right nostril. Do not worry too much about it. So you'll find that when you're doing it in the morning, the most important thing is, please blow your nose before you start the practice. That is straightforward common sense. If your nose has got physical blockage, then you're not going to be able to breathe. The second thing is that very often, if you have a cold, you will have mucus here, and that will block your nose. Over time, I will teach you some asanas which will enable you to free the nostril. But for now, it is a perfectly normal thing for you to experience one side to be blocked, the other side to be free. This blockage will change during the day. You will experience one day it will be blocked here, less blockage. Sometimes both will be free and things like that. It is perfectly normal. Do not worry about it.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Anybody else?
So the left palm will have to be placed on the lap. There's no mudra holding it, right?
Yeah, this is the most comfortable thing actually. You can't keep. Some people say you keep one in Anjali Mudra, Chin Mudra, and the other one you do.
Okay.
Well, see, if you're not going to be comfortable,
okay,
then you're not going to be able to practice it properly, no?
Okay.
So just if suppose you're sitting on a stool, obviously you can't keep it like this, and then your hand will start aching, and then you won't be able to do it properly.
Okay.
Anybody
and when breathing in from one side, there is this feeling that the breath is coming in from full side of that face. Is that okay?
Yes, that is perfectly all right.
Okay.
That is perfectly all right. I mean, uh, whether you breathe from one side or the other, if you feel the air going, what is happening is that your entire this entire air, the air is going in from the side, then it is going into the eustachian tube. The eustachian tube is linked somewhere here, and then it's
Okay.
going to the pharynx, your thyroids, and then it's going into the chest. Yes,
Okay.
sir. Milind sir and Ellen sir. First,
Okay.
Milind sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to ask you one question, that while doing this Nadi-Shuddhi pranayama, what should be the situation about your stomach? That means whether it
That
should
I
be
am going to
empty.
teach you next class, because today I
Okay.
thought I will teach you about the abdomen, how the abdomen should move, but then I realized that there were that could complicate things. So I thought I
No,
will.
no, 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 sir. Sorry, my question is, what should be the condition? Means whether the stomach should be 100% empty even without water, or if I drink water and start doing this, or this is my question.
That way. Okay. 20 minutes before you practice pranayama, you should stop drinking fluids. 2 hours before practice of pranayama, you should stop solid foods.
Okay, okay.
Because
Because I am
otherwise,
doing.
what will happen is you'll start burping. See, what will happen is when you start practice of one important thing that you all must recognize is the minute you start the practice of pranayama, if there is, see, this is your stomach is here, okay, the top of the stomach is always a little free because it holds gas. So when you start the practice of pranayama, your diaphragm will start moving up and down. When that happens, you'll start burping. It's normal. Don't feel bad about it. Go ahead and burp loudly. Don't worry about it, because what is happening is that the residual air is moving out. Once the residual air moves out, then the diaphragm begins to move freely. So if you please try to stop eating 2 hours before pranayama, and stop eating drinking fluids 20 minutes before. Okay,
Okay, thank you.
no problem. There was a question that somebody asked how many cycles we should do. Now there is really no rule. My recommendation is, as soon as you wake up, you perform your ablutions, wash your face, sit and do for 10 minutes. Then in the evening, do for 10 minutes. This is uh, I do it this way. Now, I don't expect you all to do it this way, because everybody has his own constraints. I would even say that suppose you're sitting in a train and you're going somewhere, do it. No. Kaun puchne wala? Who's going to ask you? It's your nose, it's your breath. No. Do it. Nobody's going to ask you anything. So the thing is that you have to look. The opportunity is there. Whether you use it or not is up to you. If suppose you're sitting in a bus and you're doing nothing, why waste time? Follow the breath. Be relaxed. Learn to relax. So what happens is that the body begins to get conditioned to a process of relaxing at any time. So it becomes a relaxed state of existence. And at the end, what happens is that your responses also begin to get relaxed. That's all it is. The entire business of yoga is common sense. There is nothing great in it. So it's all practice, practice, practice. Ellen, sir, you had raised a hand.
Yes, sir.
Oh, sorry.
I wanted to know the total, the duration. So we start with the regular pranayama and then follow it up with Nadi-Shuddhi. So can we say 5 minutes of that and 5 minutes of this?
No, see, actually, as you begin to increase Nadi-Shuddhi, the other one that I spoke about was only introduction to pranayama. That is, for people who have never done it before. See, a lot of people today talk about, in many classes they say you must control the breath, you must control the breath. That is not really the way to do things, because the minute you try to control the breath, you begin to get stressed, you begin to increase stress, and the prana does not flow within the body. The nadis start getting congested. That is not the intent of pranayama. The intent of pranayama is to make sure that the flow of prana within the body is as the swabhava of the body is. So so the point is that slowly as you begin to master the techniques of pranayama, I'm assuming that it will become reflex. You will actually be able to start breathing in that same relaxed manner without having to practice breathing in a relaxed manner. Have I answered your question?
Sir, so you're saying that we can just start off with Nadi-Shuddhi straight away. We don't have to really go into that first breathing exercise.
Correct. So if you're confident of being relaxed, if you're able to follow the breathing, then there is no need for you to do other things. Slowly we will stop that. Over time I will stop it. I'm going to assume that you're all going to be practicing. I'm going to assume that you'll get relaxed when you're breathing and not be stressed. And slowly I will close that. There is no need, no.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
See, that technique you can use. Suppose you're standing in a train and you feel very hard. So if you feel that way, then suppose you're in a train, you're going, then simply do the breathing without having anybody to. So nobody's watching you, you don't feel conscious, but quietly you're doing your breathing, you're doing your relaxation, and you might even fall asleep in the train. That's also normal. When you get up, you continue again because you're fresh. When you're fresh, you'll be able to breathe better. So you can do all of this in a very controlled manner. So what I taught earlier, you can use in any situation. Suppose you are unable to sleep, then simply start practicing relaxation and breathing. The minute you begin to relax your eyeballs, you will fall asleep. So with that, I'm going to again apologize for the delayed start. I'm hoping that next week we will be able to resolve this once and for all. And I wish you all a great weekend and a great week ahead. Please remember, yoga is just a practice. The theory is just 1%, practice is 99%. Please practice. So with that, I wish you all a great weekend. Best of luck and namaste.